let me break this down for you a little bit on what I do, in case you don't know what it is. Energy healing is, actually I've got some sample papers. Energy has to do with your chakra system, essentially. However, sorry for the rustling papers, hold on. However, it is not necessarily only the chakras that I deal with. Personally, I feel that everything was meant to be combined. I can't find my paper, but everything was meant to be combined. When I say this, I mean psychology, Western medicine, like modern medicine, energy medicine, and also like obviously your physical health and your spiritual connection. Okay, I'm a very firm believer that everything should be united to bring balance, because that's why it's all available. It's because energy doesn't ever disappear or get added, it just gets displaced and replaced. Okay, so what happens with our body if we have a blockage of some sort, like an emotional blockage? That's usually the biggest issue. If there's an emotional blockage, then what we're dealing with is on our meridian lines, which is the Holy Spirit, I guess you would say, or the life force energy or the chi that runs through your body. We have these meridian lines. Okay, each of these is governed by a different organ system and also a different emotional system. Okay, if there's a blockage in these meridians, then what you'll have is actually a blockage causing a manifestation of an injury or an illness. If it is something temporary, right, like a fleeting emotion that you had from like a breakup, something like that, that is just everyday life, or a letdown at your work or something like that. Getting scared when you're driving somewhere because somebody almost hits you but they didn't, like things like that. They can cause like temporary blockages. If a temporary blockage happens, then it's usually something that'll clear itself out. If it doesn't clear itself out, then what you have is like your moderate injuries. Your moderate injuries are going to be hitting your funny bone, stubbing your toe, getting a paper cut, feeling a little bit nauseous before you go into a place, getting a stuffy nose, headaches, etc. Okay, negative self-talk, slight paranoia, etc. Anxiety. All right. So, if you don't have the emotion leave naturally like it's supposed to, then what it will level up to is going to be something more pertinent that you would pay attention to. The reason for this is because the whole reason that it's happening is not as a punishment or anything like that. It's because our subconscious needs to talk to our conscious. Our inner child, I'm sure you've heard, needs to talk to our adult selves. And our inner brains also, your heart brain, your gut brain, they need to communicate with this brain. Okay, so that's what the injuries happen for. The issue with this is that people weren't taught this because of Western modern medicine. So when your subconscious needs to communicate to you, for instance, that you are you feel really uneasy about a situation, you don't feel comfortable about it, you'll feel nauseous, you don't feel stable in your footing, basically. If somebody's forcing you to do something, like say you do something and you're not proud of it, for instance, like you're running a marathon or you're playing soccer. Okay, I'll do the soccer thing. You're playing soccer, right? And you go to kick the ball and you know that you're gonna miss. Like it just like slips off the front of your toe almost, like and you just know you didn't nail it. You'll probably end up with a twisted ankle. because of the thought process that happens behind this is, crap, I shouldn't have done that. I should have done it this way. Or, oh, I messed up. I wish I didn't go this way. You're doubting your direction in life at that moment. If you're somebody who is doubting your direction in life because of logic, or because of the fact that maybe your dad was the coach, or your coach is a man and he's yelling at you, or you are embarrassed that you messed up in front of your male friends or your son or something, then it's going to be on your right ankle that the twist happens. If it's something to do with your emotional self, like you feel like you let yourself down, you feel like you let the team down, you are worried about your mom, or your mom was somebody that was the cause because you were late for practice or something on the day that you learned how to do those kicks, maybe. If you are embarrassed because your girlfriend's watching, or, things like that, your coach is a girl, then, or you feel like your partner didn't pass it to you the right way intentionally, so that's going to be an emotional issue and an intuitive issue and a creative issue. And so that's going to happen to your left ankle. So those are just some examples. If you get a paper cut and it is on your right hand, on your index finger, it's going to have to do with something that you were leading others with, or something that you were meant to be a leader of others during, and you didn't feel comfortable with the way that you were doing it, or you felt forced to do it. If it's on the left finger, on the ring index finger, it's going to be something that you were leading yourself to do, and you feel like you didn't pull through for yourself. Like you had to be up at a certain time for work, and then you were a little bit late, and then you get into the office, and then you're a little bit late for that meeting, and now you've got nobody to blame but yourself, and then you go and you're trying to go through your papers really quickly to get the paper out, the form to give to your boss, and you get a paper cut on your index finger. That would be an example, okay? So now that that's clear, we can also have, if we don't address them then, we will level up again, and that'll become a chronic injury or illness. And from there, if it still doesn't get addressed, it will become something that is terminal, or something that will actually just take our lives, like a car accident, like a fatal car accident, or like somebody getting killed by somebody else, things like that. Okay. The way that we die and the way that we get terminally ill is also affected by that same system. So there's a lot to learn about individuals depending on things like that.